where we discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Wednesday after AEW and NXT, and every Friday after SmackDown. Welcome to our Raw recap.
What's up? How's it hanging? How's it going? How we doing?
It's going great.
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 I'm glad it's going great. Well, tonight's Raw. Don't know how I felt about that.
I didn't think it was too bad.
Y'all got on the air fast. Usually it's way later. Didn't watch a minute of Raw. Here for the review. Sweet.
I didn't think it was too bad. Maven hated it.
Yeah, I didn't like tonight's Raw. No,
So.
I didn't like it. Like at all.
You're going to have split opinions here.
I didn't like it.
By the way, hello, Scott and Jordan.
Like at all. I didn't like it.
Hello, John L.
Okay. Let's just start from the top here, right? As one usually does.
That's a good place to start.
So here's what we'll do. Because we didn't have a show on Friday, we can kind of touch on SmackDown here at the end because Raw sucked.
I didn't think it was too bad.
I didn't like it. And I'll tell you why. So we start the show off with VIP Lounge with Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, okay. So Drew McIntyre then comes out after Dolph was all like, yes, I made Drew and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Drew is like, I am taking you, Dolph, way past Claymore Country. I'm going to hurt, in capital letters, you, and torture you, in capital letters, at Extreme Rules. Alrighty then. I don't really give a flying football about this.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's just everything about the way this has been built up. I don't love the stuff with Heath Slater. I don't really see the significance of that. I don't just, like, all of this. It really doesn't make, I don't know. I'm just not loving it.
Well, I think the Heath Slater thing was more about giving Heath Slater one last time in the reins to say goodbye.
I don't know about that.
Because I don't think it really had anything to do with what's happening here.
No, but just the entire, like, just using it with this, it didn't do anything for it, you know? Like, the significance of bringing Heath out last week was for nothing. I saw stuff saying that he didn't want to do that, and Drew McIntyre kind of pushed him to be like, hey, why don't you just do this? And that's what that was. That's what I saw. You've seen different things where he wanted to do it. I have not. So, I don't know.
Well, I saw an interview where he talked about he was glad he did it, and it was his chance to say goodbye.
I guess.
So, I mean, you know.
I just don't see the significance of it, and I feel like all of this thus far has just been like...
Dolph's chances of winning at Extreme Rules are the same chances I have at winning the lottery. Well, Scott, go buy your lottery ticket.
That would be slim to none. I mean, no offense to you. You might win the lottery someday, but I really don't think Dolph is winning.
I don't think Dolph's winning either, but, you know, we complain about them fighting the same people over and over again, and so they've done something different here, and so I'm cool with this.
I have
This
no
is not
problem
like a
with
big
them
deal to
doing,
me.
like, new stuff. But, like, this, I feel like we're getting nowhere with this. I feel like week after week we're not really building onto this, and it's just a lot of the same stuff, like, I made you, you did not, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you at Extreme Rules. No, you're not. I've yet to pick the stipulation. I'm not telling you what the stipulation is, in which it's being said there's a poster going around here, a poster of the Drew and Dolph match, the match poster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I believe it was on WWE's website. They may have spoiled what the stupid stipulation is, anyways, because on the poster it says it's going to be a TLC match, and it hasn't been announced that it's a TLC match yet. So everybody's like, okay.
Okay, so it's probably going to be a TLC match.
In which they have spoiled it, because they were like, oh, well, we're waiting to tell everybody till Extreme Rules, and then they put the stupid poster out. It's like, they do this all the time, and I don't understand how they do this. I don't even understand how they, like, I don't get it. I don't know how they, like, spoil their own stuff. I really don't. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, they're trying to hold off as long as they possibly can, and then they just spoil it themselves. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
It's gonna be a TLC
This
match.
is the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but do we have a single Extreme Rules match?
Dolph faced Dean at SummerSlam and lost. Dolph faced Kofi and lost. And now Dolph faces Drew. What do they all have in common?
Dolph has lost.
If you go by their last names, they're in alphabetical order. Ambrose, Kingston, and McIntyre.
That's funny. Ah, man. Didn't Dolph say it was a match no one has seen? I don't even know.
I think so.
I don't even know.
It's going to be the world's greatest TLC match.
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. Like, I don't have a clue.
How you doing, Export?
Whatever stipulation they threw at this.
Baszler somehow escaped catering.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in just a second.
I don't have an issue with how they're building this. At least they're not fighting each other every week, and there's not a big,
I mean, I guess, but I just feel like we're not getting anywhere with this, and I'll be glad when it's over at Extreme Rules, but it probably won't be over at Extreme Rules because we'll probably get Dolph versus Drew at, like, SummerSlam or something because that's what they do, and then I'll just kind of be, like, over it. Because I feel like that's what the Dolph Ziggler feud's about, too. It's like they fight 72 times, Dolph loses every time, and then they're just done with it, and he, like, moves on.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what they do. So, whatever. I just feel like we're not really doing anything with this and not building to anything whatsoever. So, I digress. Whatever. Moving on. Angel Garza, the interview. The Viking Raiders show up, and then it's kind of like this stare down between Ivar and Garza, and Charlie's standing in the middle, and Ivar ends up, like, taking the rose that Garza was going to give to Charlie, and Ivar hands it to her instead, and then they're just kind of like... So, I wouldn't be shocked if we're leading to, like, an Ivar versus Garza match, and, like, the winner is, like, gets Charlie. I don't know, something like what they're doing with Mandy Rose, because I feel like that's what this is. I feel like they're trying to make Ivar the Otis of Raw.
Yeah, it's kind of what I get a feeling.
You know, I feel like that's what they're trying to. They're like, we have Otis on SmackDown, but we need to kind of counter that on Raw.
Charlie with Garza as the ref.
Honestly, I feel like Charlie might almost be to the point where she's like, I'm gonna bob Zelina Vega in the face because, well, pal, like, go away, you're, like, so annoying, and, like, you ruin my Garza interviews every single time now. I feel like we're almost getting to that point.
Well, the only issue I have with this is what they're doing with the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, they're not getting a shot at the tag team titles.
It's
Garza
like
and Andrade are going to.
Yeah, well, I said that when they were going to have them be tag.
And then they're probably going to win the tag titles. So
the rumor going around is it's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Andy Orton at SummerSlam.
I have also seen that.
I've seen that,
and I also don't love it.
Going to win.
I also don't love it, and I think it's stupid, but whatever. I'll save that for another discussion.
Orton will be feuding with The Fiend again. Today is Bronze Hunter's Day of the Champion. Totally forgot he was the champion.
But how is he going to... Whoa.
You forgot he was the champion. I totally forgot about Braun.
Hold the phone. How is Randy going to be fighting The Fiend?
Huh?
For, like, a Survivor Series match?
Well, you see, they put them together in a match.
Well, you see, if Randy Orton is champion and a Fiend is champion, then, like, yeah, they'd have a match at Survivor Series. If they're doing champion versus champion.
I'm just telling you that somewhere down the road they're going to have them fight.
Well, they
Not
should.
2 months longer.
They should because it's a smart idea.
Woo! Scary Jerry, thanks for the follow.
So, yes. We then get Garza and Andrade versus the Viking Raiders in a tag team elimination match, I believe is what this was.
What we need is Otis versus Rikishi for a fight. Winner gets good old JR barbecue sauce. That'd be funny.
This match was a tag team elimination match, I believe, because Garza, like, eliminated Eric first, I think, and then Andrade got eliminated, and then it was Ivar and Garza, and they, like, fought, and then Garza got the win, and so, yeah. Sweet.
Again, I'm okay with this match. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about this is the fact that the Viking Raiders have been kind of pushed completely out of anything, but we saw that coming when they were, like, being goonballs with, the Street Profits, so, this doesn't shock me at all. Did you hear Rusev got COVID-19 and Lana's mom and dad got it? Yes,
Yep.
Lana's mom was in bad shape the last I'd heard. I don't know. I hadn't seen anything updated or anything like that.
I thought they both were in they were both in the hospital. And
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
knew
one of
Lana's
them
mom
was
I didn't
in.
know about her dad.
I thought they were both in the hospital. Maybe it was just her mom that I saw. But yeah, so hopefully they get better.
Yes.
So after this we get Ruby and the Iconics. They're backstage, and the Iconics are taunting Ruby once again because she has no friends and she has no tag team partner for their tag team match later in the show. By later in the show, we mean next. So Bianca Belair shows up out of nowhere and is like, I got your back. And so that was great. Bianca's on TV again. Yeehaw! Where's she been over the last 7 months? Don't know. But here she is. And so we then get Iconics versus Ruby and Bianca. This was fine. It was a whatever quick tag team match. Didn't really get to showcase anything, honestly. If I'm, being nitpicky here, but whatever. Ruby and Bianca won. So this is Ruby is now 1-12. So that's nice. This is her first win. She was 0-12, and she, got the dub. So that's great.
Yeah. And
you
again,
thought Liv was gonna be the magic potion. Turns out all it took was Bianca Belair coming back out of, this. She's back.
Well, the question then becomes: are they going to set up a Riot Squad with Bianca Belair as the third?
I think that would be stupid. I don't love that idea.
Why? I think you could build a storyline here where she is the third, and then ends up turning on them.
You could, but I don't love that idea. I think of Bianca as a singles competitor. I don't think she needs to be in a tag team. I don't think she needs to be in a trio. I think she's got enough charisma on her own. She has enough in-ring ability and skills on her own. She does not need Ruby and Liv holding her back. So, I would say I wouldn't love to see that happen. But would I be shocked if they go in that direction? No, but I don't think they should. Because I think Bianca needs to be a singles competitor.
Okay.
Because that's where she's going to shine.
Well, probably, but I think if you're gonna bring her out, I think it's the audio's low. You need to turn it up. Could be.
Because I'm not yelling and screaming.
That's because Maven's not yelling and screaming.
It's because tonight's show sucked.
Is that better now?
Man. Bianca Belair probably won't team with her. She can certainly hold her own. I agree with that, which is why I don't think that they need to do a team thing where she becomes the third member of the Riot Squad. So I don't even know if they're gonna put Ruby and Liv back together at this point. I really don't. I thought they were going to, but I don't even know.
Well, if she's not gonna be part of the team, why did they bring her in?
Because they were like, well, we need somebody for you to tag with, so yeah.
So why didn't they bring Liv in?
Because if Liv was in that match, they would have lost.
Maybe.
Because
Bianca.
Bianca.
Said, okay, now we're gonna start.
Well, Bianca was the reason they won that match. Ruby really didn't do jack squat. No offense to Ruby Riott, but she really didn't. She didn't really do jack squat in that tag team match. Bianca pretty much held her own. She pretty much beat up both the Iconics by herself, and that was that. She got the win. Maybe this will lead to a Ruby and Bianca feud where Ruby will lose because you were not having Bianca Belair lose to Ruby Riott, who was like 0-12. So
Liv Morgan's been at home. They'll probably have her team just to build her up if they have her team. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think that
Ruby needed a partner and Bianca needed a job. Yeah.
For now, I wouldn't mind having them team up.
I don't know. For the time being, I just don't want it to be like a permanent thing because I think that would be dumb. Because it'd be wasting your time.
That would be Ruby versus Bianca. If it's a way to get Bianca back into the fold and back into the show, then I would. Which is fine. Which is why I don't have an issue with what they did. They brought her back, and we maybe see a short time here where Ruby and Bianca team up and go after the titles possibly.
I hope it's not just a one-time thing where Bianca's just here for this week because Ruby needed a tag team partner, and next week they're gonna move on with Ruby and go with her and like live or something, and like she just disappears off the face of the earth again. I hope that's not what we're doing because that would be stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So after this, we get Truth, Cedric, and Richard O'Shea. They're backstage, just hanging out. You know, Truth is like, so tonight I have a match against Ric Flair. And Cedric and Richard O'Shea.
SmackDown wasn't good on Friday.
They're like,
yeah, that's part of the reason. Well, I was out all day, and
it sucked. It was awful. It was terrible.
It wasn't good.
It was not good. There are not enough words to describe how terrible that show was. It was awful. Awful. Horrible. Horrific. They're talking about Extreme Rules being a horror show. Well, last Friday was a horror show, and it was
a horror.
It was
show.
Scary.
Yeah.
It was very scary. So, Truth is like, yeah, I have a match with Ric Flair tonight. And Cedric and Richard O'Shea are like, Truth, no you don't. You're fighting Randy Orton tonight. And he's like, no, I'm not. I accepted Ric Flair's challenge. He's like, no, you didn't. You accepted, you did, technically, yes. But no, you didn't. Because you accepted Ric Flair's challenge to fight Randy Orton.
They had a karaoke.
To fight Randy Orton.
Yeah.
He's like, what? That's not what I agreed to. Yes, you did. That's what you agreed to. So we had that, and I thought it was funny. He's like, I'm fighting Ric Flair tonight. They're like, no, you're not. Ric Flair is like 84 years old. You are not fighting Ric Flair tonight. You're fighting Randy Orton, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Export says that show was crapped on by everybody. Yeah, Fridays was not good.
It was awful. It was horrible.
Yeah.
If we had a show, it would have been me yelling about how awful SmackDown was for about an hour and a half.
It was crapped on by everybody, including the wrestlers that were involved.
It was. Did you see Naomi's tweet?
Yeah.
There was a tweet or a comment on Instagram or something, and they were like, "Dang, what is the women's?" They're like, "Yeah, I would prefer to wrestle, but I tried to make the most out of it, man, because it was. But I tried. I'm sorry. Like, jeez, holy moly." So after this, we get Truth versus Akira Tozawa because there's a 24/7 championship match because why not? And they don't fight because Shayna Baszler shows up, beats up the ninjas, and Akira Tozawa's like, peace out, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. And R-Truth is like, I'll just see myself out. I'm just going to go because I don't want to get beat up either. She then puts the locker room on notice. She's like, I am back. I am tired of sitting on the sidelines. I am tired of watching all these women pretending like they're the big shot. Like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm coming to break some people's arms and faces, and, well, you better just get ready, because I will be champion soon.
Again, another good segment. I liked what they did with it.
I'm so glad Shayna's back. I'm ready for Shayna to just break people in two and just... Okay, so there's rumors going around that there's going to be an Evolution 2, like, the same week as SummerSlam, I believe is what I saw. And I would kind of love to see Shayna versus Asuka at Evolution, but I would also love to see it at SummerSlam. Because I feel like they could do Asuka versus Kairi at Evolution as kind of Kairi's farewell, and then do Asuka versus Shayna for SummerSlam for the title.
Yeah.
And then Asuka can lose. Maybe. But it would also kind of suck because I do really... It's really difficult because I really want Asuka to be champion, but I also kind of want Shayna to be champion just because I feel like...
So John also says, the only thing I liked about tonight's Monday Night Raw is R-Truth. He made me laugh during the segment. Observing stuff comes back. Says, I like how R-Truth asked Tozawa. Spelled that wrong. Teach me to be a black belt in 7 minutes. I loved it. I mean, the whole segment was good. I liked the whole thing with... this whole thing with Shayna and things like that. This whole segment was good. And so, you know, I think this helps out the women's division because now you have Bianca back, Orly's showing up tonight. You have Shayna back. And so
Shayna brings
this
the
could help
heel.
out the women's division.
Exactly.
We had more
She
women's segments tonight than we have in a while.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but whatever. We did have a lot of women on the show tonight. I feel like we've had a lot of women on the show over the last couple weeks, though.
You had the Bianca segment, the Shayna segment. You had the Sasha and Bayley. I think you had more. They were put out there more tonight than they have been.
Okay, cool. So
I'm kind of glad you didn't have a show on Friday night. I didn't want to have to hear it dealing with screaming.
I really am glad Shayna's back.
Rey versus Seth match was stupid, but it had good matches. Yeah.
So yes, I'm glad Shayna's back. I think she's going to help the division out a lot. I think they desperately need sort of a heel-like figure right now that's just willing to go in there, rip people apart, and say, here I am, you know? So I'm really, really glad that we got this and we got Shayna back because I think it'll be great. So next, we have Seth Rollins.
I like how they brought her back, too.
We have Seth Rollins.
Where was the huge ninja at? Shayna couldn't take him. He hasn't been around the last couple weeks.
Maybe he has COVID.
Possibly.
Who knows?
Or a bloody nose for as tall as he is.
One of the two. So we then have Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah. He has some things to say. So he starts off with an eye for an eye. 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 And he said that about 12 times. That's literally what I put in my notes. Eye for an eye times 12. Because I kid you not, he said it about 12 times. He then says, I know what it means. I know what it means. I know what it means about 13 times. So after this, and that long dialogue of eye for an eye, I know what it means. Eye for an eye, I know what it means. He then says, I never intended to hurt Rey Mysterio. I never intended to hurt Rey Mysterio. I had to do it. I'm like, you never intended to hurt Rey Mysterio? You shoved his eyeball into the steel steps. How did you not intend to do that? It was just an accident. I just accidentally went.
Here's the only thing I don't like about what they're doing with this. But there could be a thing going back to this. Okay, so bear with me here for a minute. Okay, because I don't like what they're doing, but I can see where they're going with this. James, I thought Raw was decent tonight.
I did not like it.
She didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. And we're getting to why I didn't like it in a second.
I could see here the whole idea with Seth, because think about what's happened. You have Seth has changed since fighting the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So he's doing this, I'm sorry, the hurt heel thing. I'm sorry. I didn't really intend to hurt you, Rey, but I did it. Okay?
Yeah, for the greater good.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to hurt heel. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So tying this back into the Randy Orton stuff that's happening,
mm-hmm.
where Randy's telling all these people, I didn't mean to do it, but I had to do it. It was for the best. The hurt heel thing with Randy Orton, which is why I said down the road, I think we're going to get a Fiend Randy Orton. I think that this all, what they are doing, and I'm not saying WWE is going to do this. If they do this,
but it's very odd to have all of this happen and have all these people change, and they're all kind of doing the same thing in sort of different ways. Of Randy Orton took out all these legends, and he's like, I didn't want to hurt Edge or Christian, but I did it because I had to. And then you have Seth being like, I didn't want to hurt you, Rey, but I had to. And both of them have fought Bray Wyatt in the past. And it's very odd that they're doing it all at the same time. And I could very much so see them tying it all together. This would be like real long-term storytelling, booking, whatever you want to call it. WWE does not do that very well. But if they can pull this off,
I just think that
it could be cool.
That turning this into the Fiend has affected the people he has fought. It could be good. I mean, that's what I think. And again, I'm not saying this is what they're doing, But if you look at it, there's a pattern there with them doing. The people that he's affected are the ones that are like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I had to do it.
I get what you're saying. I totally do, and I think it's a brilliant idea. And if they were to tie it all together, and then you have the Bray Wyatt and Braun stuff that's happening right now.
Orton was a legend killer, but he's killing these people. He's like destroying these people, and then telling them he's sorry.
Exactly. Before, I feel like when he did this whole legend killer thing, he was just like, I'm just doing it because I'm the legend killer. You know, like I'm the best out of all of you. But now it's like I didn't want to do this, but I had to do this type of thing with Edge and Christian. And he's going to do the same thing with Show next Monday. And so I feel like it is kind of different than, like, I feel like it's different.
Hello, Vindicator. Edge
before.
and Christian will cause Orton to lose to the show. Possibly. That would not shock me. Could we be getting the Brood, Edge and Christian? Yeah, without Gangrel, of course.
I don't think so. I don't think Christian's coming back, and Edge is going to be out for a while because of his torn tricep.
Yeah, I think they'll be out there for a while.
So, yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea, and I think it'd be cool if they tied it all together with sort of long-term storytelling, and long-term booking of things. And I know WWE doesn't do that very well, but if they can pull this off, I think it would be really cool, and I think they could very well pull it off and do everything that they.
This is part of why I like tonight's show. I don't think it's that bad. A lot of people hate the Messiah Seth. I love it because I said they should have done this the night after he fought the Fiend. This should have been the character that came out, right, like the night after.
Yeah.
But they let it come out. It came out later, and I like what they're doing with this. It's something that. I think eventually we're going to find it ties back into the Fiend somehow, some way.
Which I think would be cool. I think that would be really cool. I'm not, like, a hater of the Messiah. I just would... Oh, 1 second. I'll talk about what killed the show for me tonight.
Here is the problem with fans. Fans want instant gratification, okay? I sit here and talk about storylines and creating storylines, and there's a lot of fans that, like, want this, like, magic thing to happen in 2 shows. You don't build pay-per-views. You don't build up good shows. You don't build up, things quick. If you watch a movie, they don't have it over in 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay? You build it up over time. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing here with Seth and Randy, but it would be genius if they did it that way to where they tie this all down the road back into the Fiend and how the Fiend has affected everything that they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. So yeah,
Shayna is back, and so is Bianca.
Yes. So Seth says that in Extreme Rules it'll be the end of Rey Mysterio. Kevin Owens then comes out and he's like, Seth, you're a scumbag. You've turned into this scumbag, and the people used to respect you, and I used to respect you, and I no longer respect you. And so then we get Aleister Black and Murph, the Smurf, they come out, and they're, like, fighting each other, and, like, we're all trying to beat each other up. And then we get Aleister Black versus Murph the Smurf in an actual match. And then it ends in DQ because of Seth. And then we get Seth versus KO. Now, this is where the show, it lost me. Like, it really did. This match just felt like it was 74 years long, and I was just over it. Like, we've seen Kevin Owens and Seth fight each other, like, 87 times at this point, and I just didn't want to watch it again. Like, they have great chemistry, sure, whatever, but I don't care. Like, I don't want to watch them fight each other again. And that's where this show kind of, it lost me, was right here, because of how long this match was. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to be really happy when the whole Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio stuff is over at Extreme Rules, because I think it's going to be over at Extreme Rules, because I think Rey is losing both of his eyes.
Great.
But
Rey's going to walk around with no eyes and be blind forever.
I think Rey is losing both of his eyes. I think that would be the smart thing to do, and then you just kind of have Rey kind of silently retire. And that'd be cool. But I mean, they also could have Seth lose an eye.
The faces are stupid. Why wouldn't Rey try to hurt Seth while he has the numbers game? Because the faces are stupid, that's why. We are an impatient society. Yes, we want everything in 3 seconds, and it just doesn't work out that way if you want something good. Seth DQ made no sense. I like the KO versus Seth match. I mean, it was an excellent match. I thought it was a good match, and you're sick of Kevin Owens, but I think this is where you have to have Kevin Owens right now, because I don't think you can tie him into a good storyline right now.
I mean,
because of everything, because of people that haven't been there for whatever reason.
I understand that,
there. So this,
but as
this
John
is
L.
excellent
said,
to have him tied into this part, this thing.
Kevin Owens and
And
Seth
so,
have been fighting since
I don't
February.
have an issue with this.
February. It is
Okay.
now July.
Okay.
They have been fighting each other for the last, several months. And I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see them fight each other anymore. They have had matches together in some capacity, 87 times over the last several months. And it's just, I don't want to see that anymore. We had the opportunity to put Kevin Owens in the U.S. Championship stuff. We didn't do that. We had that going. And then we just stopped, and then we put him here. And I don't want to see this anymore.
See, you complain about since February and all this stuff. I've got an article that I'm going to be putting up on our Patreon here in the next couple days that ties into this whole thing. With the storytelling and everything that...
I don't have a problem with them doing storytelling, but when we have this, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, 87 times over, I don't want to see it anymore.
But the focus
and
right
it doesn't
now,
matter to me. This is why I lost interest in tonight's Raw, was because this match felt like it was 97 years long, and I don't care. I don't want to watch it anymore. There were 4 commercial breaks.
But the
I don't want to sit there and watch this 12 times over. Please and thank you. Just put Seth Rollins in another match with somebody else. Or don't have Seth Rollins in matches at all.
The focus isn't Seth right now. Seth is going to be leaving at the end of the year for a short time, or maybe a long time. Who knows?
He might be,
month or
but
two. So who knows? So this whole idea right now, I think, is to keep Kevin Owens relevant, because I don't think that they have a good spot to put him right now with people that are, like I said, with people that are gone. I don't think they have a good spot to put him right now.
Okay.
So you keep him relevant in this storyline with Rey and everything, and Seth, and then you push him into something else here once people can come back, whenever that is, because who knows, since Florida has 90,000 cases a day now of COVID, so who knows what'll happen.
I understand this. Keeping Kevin Owens relevant is fine, and that's all good. And I like Kevin Owens too, and I think Kevin Owens is great. I think dude has a lot of personality. I think he's very talented in the ring. I think he's a very funny human being. The issue I understand keeping him relevant. Cool, whatever. But you're losing me when you're putting them in matches over and over again, and they take 87 years. That is why I lost interest in tonight's Raw, because they have fought each other 87 times over, and I don't care anymore. I don't want to watch another match of theirs.
I've told you before, I don't like the over and over stuff where they wrestle 900 times. But this isn't about building for Seth and Kevin Owens.
No, it isn't, and I understand that. It has nothing to do with building to Seth and Kevin Owens, but it's the fact that we've seen it 87 times.
I get that.
They literally just fought at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens literally just jumped off the freaking WrestleMania sign.
Yeah, he just came back.
He literally did all that stuff. I don't care. I don't want to see it anymore. Put Seth Rollins in a match with somebody else. Put Kevin Owens in a match with somebody else.
Owens should go back to NXT and feud with Cross or Gargano. That'd be good.
I don't know.
How else to keep him relevant other than Seth Rollins? They have good matches. Definitely.
No, but the issue I have is when they've had so many matches that I just don't care to watch anymore. It makes me just tune out. And it makes me not want to watch the rest of the show.
I don't think they have a lack of stars. I just don't think they have how to use them.
That's where I have the issue. Kevin Owens and Seth are both
1989.
They're both great stars, and I'm not denying that. And they both have great chemistry, and they put on great matches. But I just don't want to see it anymore. And this is what made me lose interest in the show, because it was 87 years long, and I did not care. So I pretty much tuned out this entire segment into the next one, which was Flair and Show backstage, and then R-Truth versus Randy Orton. I didn't care after that match. I was sitting there for 12 years waiting for it to be over, not caring. So, yeah, that was that. Kevin Owens won, and then Rey is like, it is now my turn to make the sacrifice. So, that was that, man. We then get R-Truth versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton wins in 2.2 seconds flat. Big Show then comes out, and Randy's like, next Monday, let's finish this. In an unsanctioned match. So, that makes sense, Maven, but I didn't hate it. It was better than the SmackDown karaoke. While I agree with you there, I just did not care. And it made me lose interest in the rest of the show. And that's why I was really like, what? You know? So, why did Rey repeat himself? That was stupid. He already said that. Yeah, legit, it was like the same thing he said last week. He was like, an eye for an eye. This time, it's my turn to make the sacrifice. And he said that like last week when he announced it. And then he said it again this week. It was like, this is all we got for you, man?
He just wanted to make sure people knew what he was talking about.
So,
in case you missed last week's Raw, he wanted to make sure that you knew what was happening.
So after this, we get Lashley versus Ricochet in a very, very sad match because Ricochet died.
I thought stepping back to the R-Truth and Randy Orton thing, I thought that was done well. I thought that they did a good job with that. I liked how, and it almost made you think when Randy was like, I wasn't gonna like kick his head off or whatever, you know.
Off.
It almost made you think, well, he was gonna go after Rick.
Yeah, kind of. That might be down the line, but I don't know if
boggles my mind that they still have Flair on the show with all COVID stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, I don't get it.
I don't get it. Ric Flair's just asking to like get sick.
Yes, James, don't worry about going and watching SmackDown Friday.
Don't do it. It's a waste of 2 hours.
Good.
It's a waste of 2 hours.
Yes.
You will not get those 2 hours of your life back.
Yeah.
And so just don't.
If you went back and watched it, you would go, that was like 2 hours of my life that I didn't have to watch that.
That was 2 hours that I could have been doing anything but sitting here watching this. Yes.
We didn't do a show Friday simply because, well, I was out of town. And then
after the show, we were
like, we're definitely not doing a show.
That was lame.
WWE has lazy writers. Yes.
So, Lashley versus Ricochet, this was like fine. Ricochet lost. Yeah. So, I don't know what they're doing with him.
Ricochet?
He's just
there.
Yeah, pretty much. Richard O'Shea. I like him better.
Was Raw good or not?
It
depends on who you ask.
It was fine.
If you ask me, I didn't think it was too bad.
It was like fine. I've been saying I hated it, but it wasn't. It's not like the worst Raw I've ever seen. But
I would
it was
give
like
it
fine.
a 6.5 to 7, 7.5.
I'd give it a 5. 4.5.
They're just burying Ricochet. I will never forget this match against Brock. They say I will lose. They say I can't win. Life is about proving the doubters wrong. Turns out the doubters were right. Yes.
Oh, man. So, Ricochet is so done. Like, don't ever expect to push for him. Yeah, he's not getting anywhere ever. He's not even going to, like, be U.S. champ again because he's just not. So, yeah, Lashley won, and that's great.
Well, part of the problem is, and I've said this, the belts mean nothing.
Well, no, but
being a champion means nothing in WWE.
I'm just saying he's never getting a title ever again. He's never getting anything ever again.
But being a champion means nothing.
I mean, maybe he'll be the 24/7 champion like one time, but outside of that, no. Unfortunately.
That might be the best part of SmackDown, James, is the AJ and Riddle.
They can't even find a mid-card spot for him.
Which is weird.
Exactly.
Again,
like, they don't have anything.
They don't know how to do it. I mean, part of it is because the titles mean nothing.
But it's not even about that. They can make a mid-card feud without a title. They don't have to have a title to make a good mid-card feud.
You're right, but if everything is geared towards going towards the title, because, I mean, that should be everybody's ultimate goal, is winning a championship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's like, this is part of why I've said they need to, like, cut out a couple titles and, you know, make it more interesting, make people want to make people want to be a champion.
Yeah.
And make the titles mean something.
Yeah.
The booking is awful. Ricochet could at least be a decent Intercontinental champion. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I think that they could do something with him
But he's not.
that aspect. They need to do something.
I miss Paul Heyman running wrong.
Make the titles mean something. That's part of what's going to be in my write-up on sometime this week. So if you want to check out my write-up on Patreon, you can find out what I think should happen.
How dare they try to book him as a superhero? Then he gets beaten up. Don't they forget kids watch this show? Dude, I've said with Ricochet all along.
Someone brought the kryptonite and took care of Ricochet is what's happened.
I have said Nightbot should become 24/7 champion.
He just might next week.
Oh, man. So, I've said this all along with Ricochet. They've had him come out and be all like, oh gosh, golly gee, I'm Ricochet. I'm the greatest thing, like, not greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm just, like, here. You know, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm great. But, like, I'm not that good. You know? They should have him come out and be like, yeah, I'm better than you. I can, like, do 6 flips in the air in, like, one go. And I can bounce off the ropes. And I do these flippy-dippy things. And I'm just so much better than you. And I am great. And I'm like, why are they not doing that with him? Like, the dude is legit so athletic. He might as well be a freaking superhero. I mean, like, why not run with it? Why do we need to make him this, like, golly gee, look at me character? Like, oh, I'm just here having a good time. That's not just not gonna get him anywhere. He's not striving for anything. He's just like, well, I'm just happy to be here. And that's great. Okay? You're happy to be here. Good. Why should anybody care?
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody cares at all. You need to, like, go out there. Have some fire. Like, seriously.
Ricochet would be...
It's almost like they want Ricochet to leave. I mean, honestly, though.
He would be a star in AEW.
Can you imagine Darby Allin, Ricochet, Sammy Guevara, like all of those dudes?
They could
all
put
of
the
them.
title on Riddle, despite the controversy. Possible, James. I mean,
Possibly.
I think that
I think Riddle's getting the Intercontinental Championship sooner or later. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean,
regardless of everything that's happened.
Yeah.
That's what I think's happening.
I agree.
Because that's just where I think they're going. I think they're going to put it on a younger talent who is over, who people like, and that would be Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to do with
Maybe Ricochet will join Bobby Lashley and MVP, since it seems like they're trying to get Cedric, and it'll be a twist, and Ricochet is the one that goes.
It could be cool.
So
he needs something, man. He needs to just
happens.
stop being all, gosh, golly me, look at, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
We need to cut that crap, and we need to do something different. Because...
Yeah, no more gosh, golly gee, look at me.
No, we don't need to do that. Because he's like a fool.
Yeah.
Honestly. Ricochet versus Rey Fenix sounds like madness. I know, man. I know. So, we then get the main event, and this is where I was, you know, I was a bit more chipper and excited to watch this because Sasha and Bayley saved the show. They did. They made it better. So did Asuka and Kairi. They're just great. I love everything they're doing. They're so freaking talented. It's ridiculous. So we get the Sasha and Bayley tribute, and this made me smile.
Yes, and they're on every show, so it's great.
This was great. This made me smile. I said last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, whenever they showed this, that they should show it every week because it's just such a good video. It's got such good music, and, like, it's just funny, and it just brings a smile to my face. After this, we get the match, and the match was really good. Asuka, Kairi, Bayley, Sasha, they have worked really well together. I've loved this entire feud. Everything about it has been great. The storytelling, the matches themselves, they've just been good. They know how to work together, and they're doing it very well. And Sasha and Bayley retain the titles. I'm cool with that. It's fine. Sasha pinned Kairi, I believe, and it was great. It was a good time. Really enjoyed this.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter who Asuka works with. Whoever she's working with.
With the exception of Nia Jax. Continue on.
Well, that's, again, you go
Continue
with
on.
Nia Jax.
Continue on. Go ahead.
Continue.
Continue.
With whoever Asuka works with is, like, amazing.
I agree. 100%.
So when
It's great.
when we sit here and talk about some of the best wrestlers they have, Asuka's probably one of the best they have, just because
she knows what she's doing.
Whoever she's working with, the matches she has are just outstanding and look good.
Over the last several weeks that Asuka's been on TV, I really have not been disappointed with a single segment that she's been on, honestly. And it doesn't matter who she's working with. It's so good.
Who takes the titles off of Banks and Bayley?
At this point, I don't know.
Nobody for a while.
Mhm.
Do y'all think
Nope.
Tegan will beat Io Wednesday, leading to Tegan versus Dakota?
No.
No. Not happening, James.
It's for the title. Io's retaining.
Yes.
Dakota might try to get involved. I don't like that. But, no. Tegan's not winning. Asuka is my favorite current women's wrestler. Yeah, man, since Becky left, I've kind of been on the Asuka train. But I'm also kind of on the Sasha and Bayley train. But I'm also kind of on the Shayna train. So...
She's on lots of trains.
So...
She doesn't know what train to be on.
I kind of love them all, though, because they're all doing really well. I mean, with the exception of Shayna, who hasn't really been on TV as of late. She was doing really well when she was on TV, though. And I've really just enjoyed a lot of their stuff that they've been doing. They've really just been, they really have been working very well. And I'm really happy with the position that Sasha and Bayley have been put in. And, I mean, the same goes for Asuka and Kairi. I feel like they really are getting the recognition that they deserve. And I think it's great. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you all know what today is?
Today is July 13th.
5 years since the women's evolution kind of started. 5 years since Sasha and Bayley, not Bayley, Becky, geez, too many B names. Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte were brought up, and they did the Team Bad versus Team PCB versus Team Bella, the whole beginning of the women's evolution. And this week is Women's Evolution Week, Revolution Week, something like that. Women's Revolution, that's what it was called. Jeez, I need to learn things. But this was so cool watching, because I remember watching Team Bella and Team Bad and Team PCB and, their big match that they had at SummerSlam, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because they were getting so much more time than what they used to be getting, and it was just really cool to watch all of this. So.
Hey, Maven, is your lipstick black or a dark shade of green?
It is black.
She has on black lipstick today.
It is black, but it does look kind of green because my eyeshadow's green, and so it looks like a very, very dark green, but it is black.
I think Shinsuke might actually be fluent in English now. Possibly. You know what? Speaking of Shinsuke, I hate him in WWE, but we went back.
We watched some New
with
Japan.
Give Me a Whole Yeah on Saturday. We watched New Japan Wrestling.
And then the AJ Styles and Nakamura Wrestle Kingdom match. It was epic.
I like him a lot better from New Japan Wrestling than I do now.
It was so good. That match was so good, and I'm just so disappointed with everything that they've done with him in WWE. With the exception of NXT, because NXT was good. I did enjoy the stuff in NXT, but after they brought him up, it was just kind of you know?
Yeah.
That's funny to me that they brought Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte up to the main roster, but it took Bayley about, a year. Yeah, well, when they moved up, they couldn't have moved all four of them over at once, I don't think. This is just the way I see it, because somebody needed to kind of be at, the top spot in NXT, and Bayley was just reaching that peak. And so, they did that, and she had the belt, and it was really cool, and she kind of got her big run in NXT as being their champion. And it was Asuka who came along after that, right? Asuka came along?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Something like that. And so they did, that whole stuff, and it was really cool. So they had that, and then they moved Bayley over, and it was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Looks
cool.
cool, very goth. I hope Impact starts putting talent in the stands. It's a little boring, and I keep falling asleep on it. Mr. G, my college said everyone is allowed on campus. I think I'm going to start online when school starts. Zendel, you said you're going to Arkansas, right? Somewhere in Arkansas?
I remember.
If I recall, that's where you said.
I remember wondering how the foreign wrestlers communicated in WWE. Asuka and Nakamura know a lot more English than they act. Kairi needed Asuka's help at one point. Yeah.
It's kind of odd, that how they're doing that. I mean, I don't understand like some of this. Like, I think when they start out, they're gonna find out that it's not gonna last very long because we don't have any of this under control.
Mhm.
And so you may start out, but I think within 2 or 3 weeks you'll be back, not on campus.
So.
Because I don't see how you can go without, having issues.
So
I did see where Alabama Education Association is asking Alabama to start schools later. I know that has nothing to do with Arkansas. But, Shinsuke can pretty much speak English.
That's cool.
That new show Miz has Cannonball is pretty awesome. I haven't watched it. I need to watch it.
Oh, you're talking about college?
Yeah, we're talking about college.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
I was trying to help Zandel out.
So
Trying to make him feel safe.
on Friday, SmackDown, it was terrible. It was awful. I feel like we've really just knocked that out of the park. Just so everybody understands how bad it was. It was awful. So they showed. Was it this week that they showed the Money in the Bank match with Bray and Braun?
Yeah, I think so.
That was like fine or whatever. They showed the stupid karaoke thing. They did karaoke with Lacey and Dana and Tamina and Naomi. And oh my gosh, Dana just needs to go away. Okay? She really does. I was thinking that maybe her hidden talent was going to be singing. That is not the case. She can't dance either. So I don't think she's good at anything. So I think she should just go. Because she's not good at wrestling, and she's really not good at promos either. So I just don't think she's good at anything. Lacey, she sang a song. It's pretty good. It's fine, She sang Jeff Jarrett. It was My Baby Tonight, or whatever that's called. It was great. And then you had Tamina, who was singing Triple H's theme song, and she didn't even get to sing it because Jay Uso, he was like, no, just hold your horses. And then you had Naomi, who sang Dusty Rhodes' theme song, and people were like, oh, can't believe she did that.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, shots, AEW. Can't believe that. So, that was that, and that was like horrifically awful, and I couldn't even believe we were doing that. What else was on SmackDown? I don't even remember. That's how bad the show was. But it was awful. You had Nakamura and Cesaro fighting the New Day. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I didn't take notes on anything. Oh! You had Sheamus and Jeff Hardy at the beginning of the show. And they're going to have like a bar fight at Extreme Rules. And I'm really not looking forward to this. And I really am like over this. And we kind of talked about this on our show that we did with Gimme a Whole Yeah over the weekend. And we talked about that at the beginning while we were waiting. And yeah, it's not good. I don't like the Jeff Hardy thing at all. And I think it's kind of insensitive. And I think they need to just, no, it's not good. I don't like it. And no.
Sendell says, hey, I have to say this just random. I think Peyton Royce's new finisher is probably the best in the women's division. It's not too bad.
Her finisher is really cool. I do agree with that. I would have sang R-Truth's theme song. Jeez.
Theme song. Yeah.
Jeez.
Naomi could have done that.
She could have.
When Becky Lynch comes back, would you like to see the 4 Horsewomen versus the 4 Horsewomen?
It'd be cool.
No.
I'd be down with it. Because I think it's going to happen at some point in time.
Because the other two need to get a lot better.
Probably yes, but I think it's inevitable, and I think it's going to happen anyways.
They put Dane on TV finally. Hopefully we'll get to see more of Dane.
Hopefully not. There are rumors of people being worried over Jeff's possible relapsing. I think that's an obvious WWE-influenced rumor and in bad taste. Yeah, I saw some stuff where his family was, like, not happy that they were doing this angle, and I think Matt Hardy has put out a couple of different things regarding this, and he's like, this is just not a good idea. Like, it's really not. And So, yeah, there's been some stuff about Jeff's family not being happy about this segment. Not just this segment, but just the entire storyline. They're not loving that WWE is using it, and they're not liking what they've done with it. And I don't blame them, honestly. I really don't. Because I haven't liked it either. And I think a lot of it is insensitive, and I thought they were going to go in the direction of kind of letting Jeff kind of be the spokesperson and say, you know, don't do this because the repercussions are not good, and, like, don't do what I did, and please be smart, you know? And that's what I thought we were going to do, but now it's just kind of like Sheamus making fun of the entire situation, and they're, like, you know, putting all this stuff out in front of Jeff, and it's like, I don't like it. And I think it's insensitive. I understand Jeff might be for it because he wants to push being clean, but this is going on too long. See, I feel like they're not even pushing that, though, because I feel like it's a lot of just, like, Sheamus making fun of him and stuff.
Didn't CM Punk used to do drugs before he went clean. This has been done before.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I don't love the entire thing regarding it. I think it's insensitive, and I don't like it.
Good night, James. How's your wife doing, James?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with the whole... I mean, I've said this before. As long as Jeff is okay with it, then I don't have an issue with it.
I've seen some people on Twitter. There are a couple people that I follow, and they're like, yeah, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and this is a terrible storyline. And as somebody who, you know, was an alcoholic or whatever, this is not a good idea. And, like, this is not a good storyline, and it's very insensitive, and I don't see a purpose to it. And, like, I can understand that point of view. I can totally understand that. Like, I don't think it's... I agree. If Jeff is fine, then it's fine. I didn't like the pizza ring. That's nice. I said I would hope that Jeff is fine with it, but if Jeff is trying to...
She out of the hospital yet, James?
If Jeff is, like, just trying to keep his head down and do his job, and he's trying not to cause a huge scene and all of this stuff because, you know, Matt just went to AEW and he doesn't want to, like, have one foot in the grave, like, I would hope that's not the case, and I would hope he'd be fine with it, but I don't know. It's WWE, and sometimes they don't ask before they do things, and they're just like, hey, we're doing this, and you kind of have no choice. So yeah. I would hope that he kind of has some say in what's happening. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past WWE and being like, no, you're going to do this.
It was apple juice. It wasn't pee.
Gross. It was obviously apple juice.
It was either apple juice or Jeff Hardy really needs to drink a lot more water.
See, but then the thing that I loved about it was, like, a week later or 2 weeks later when they did the whole A Toast to Jeff Hardy, the, like, champagne or whatever it was in the cup was legit the exact same color as Jeff Hardy's pee from, like, 2 weeks prior.
Maybe it was his pee.
And I was like, I don't think that's good. I don't think Jeff Hardy's pee and the alcoholic beverage should be the same color. I don't think that's good.
The next storyline is going to be about Jeff Hardy needing to drink more water and stay hydrated because he gets dehydrated during his matches.
I mean, I don't know. There is a Jeff Hardy Chronicle that's coming out, I believe, talking about, you know, this, I think. There was a clip on the Twitter. What am I talking about? Jeez, it's late. I'm tired. Anyways, there was a clip on Twitter, and it was him talking about stuff. The match at Backlash, and Vince was like, that was the best match I've ever seen in my life. That was so good. And Jeff was like, thanks, man. And so that was that. That's what I saw. So there's going to be like a chronicle or something about this.
Yeah, she's still in the hospital. She's off the ventilator now. Well, that's good. At least that's kind of a big step in hopefully getting recovered and getting to come home. Maybe he replaced liquor with soda also. They should go all in because Jeff definitely did more the drinking and alcohol. Yeah, see? So, I mean, they could, like, you know, they could have the storyline go, now I drink too much soda and my urine is dark yellow because I don't have enough water. Drink your water, kids.
I don't
Teenage
know,
Jeff
man.
are saying that looked like more than alcohol. Yeah, probably. All right, I think that's it.
Yes, I'm gonna check the Twitter real quick and make sure there's
Checking
nothing
the
else.
Twitter. When he was in TNA, he was actually drunk during his match, so Sting and Eric B had to change how the match was supposed to go. Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
I'm checking. I'm checking. I am checking. I am checking. I am checking.
Nothing on the Twitter.
I'm not seeing anything.
Nope.
No.
Nothing out there. Either way, Jeff will be alright. Yeah, as long as he stays clean, he'll be good. I'm going to watch Slammiversary on Saturday.
Sweet.
Cool?
It's
Cool.
Impact.
Cool.
So.
We've talked about expanding out and doing some other stuff, just a matter of time.
So.
It's a big issue. Alright, we're going to take off. We'll be back on Wednesday. God, I keep forgetting what day it is.
I know, man. I know the feeling.
If I'm not mistaken, Jeff is doing multiple things excessively. Yes. Multiple things excessively and to his detriment.
No good things.
All right, we will see you guys on Wednesday. Everybody, thanks for coming in and sticking around with us. We'll be back Wednesday with our AEW NXT recap. AEW is probably going to be
Off the
on
walls,
fire,
great.
so
Because it's Fight for the Fallen.
it'll be a probably big night for AEW. So with that, we're going to take off. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Peace out, everybody.
Guys.